Hey guys, welcome to the show. I hope you're having a great day. I'm barely awake and have not been motivated to do anything today, which is terrible. But I'm here and happy and excited to be alive. Trey, are you here this week?
You already know, baby. It is what it is.
Woo, he's off vacation. He's back to hang out with us.
No, don't say it like that.
What?
Come on, man.
Wait, you're allowed a vacation?
I mean, yeah, but like, I still wanted to be there. It was too short. It was too short.
That's okay. Too Short,
Then
he's a
again,
good rapper. So
you said what?
he's a good rapper, Too Short.
Oh, okay.
That was a bit. It didn't work. Give
It's
me
okay.
a beatbox, Trey. Hi guys, I fly. I'm looking back at the people cause I try. We have a really cool person on show. Her name's Sarah. She's like, oh, I know, no, but I don't get it only if I can't see. She's like in the East Coast with this weather system B. It's all messed up. I don't even know why. If I know there's 100 degrees in my room and try not to explode if I never know. Ooh, did you understand what I came to do? Now I wanna rap cause I'm cool like you. A little old school with my little tool true ho ho. As I press the share button, bro, I gotta send this to my friends and then I don't know. Oh, I'm out of control. I'm thinking, oh, got 25 seconds left for me to rap. Ow! Ah! And now I lose my mind rapping, looking like a silly dude, but now I only captioning me on the middle, looking for the people cause I'm standing in a riddle like it. Sit down, when, how, must I run like a brown cow? Look back now you gotta do it. Did you understand what I gotta do and pursue it?
Are you looking for a different kind of podcast? How about informative and clean? It will make you laugh. Scout and Trey, yeah, that's what we do. We got a little funny thing, keeping it true. Hey, we take your topics and all your ideas and bring in a guest and we answer them there. Then we make a freestyle rap and do it for you. Yeah, that's what we do. Yeah, that's what we do. Yep, flows to you, flows to you. This is what we do now. This is what we do. Say it flows to you, flows to you. This is what we do now. This is what we do. Say it flows to you, flows to you. This is what we do now. This is what we do. Say it flows to you, flows to you.
Yo, what it do, what it is.
What's up? Did that freak out on everybody else too, or was it just me?
What?
I liked it.
Oh, okay. No, the music just stopped on me. Right.
Interesting. Did it stop early or something?
Yeah, it just stopped.
Huh. I don't know.
It's okay. Well, fine then, Trey Bay. Wait.
What is everybody's headline of the week? Jason, you're going to go first or am I going to go first?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll go first. I was attacked by a a colonized organism.
Wow. I was afraid my foot was going to fall off.
Okay. Interesting. Is it just me or is Jason really quiet?
I might be. Let's see. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Now I want to hear Sarah's headline.
I just came back from North Dakota.
Okay. Cool. Dope, sick, nasty. I was attacked by whatever. I was stung by a jellyfish. It was not great. Me and several of my family members were actually stung by a jellyfish, including my girlfriend. And we were in South Carolina, and apparently it is jellyfish season. So when it gets warmer on the coast, they tend to spring up quite a bit, and they are very numerous. So we were literally just getting in for like the first 10 seconds of us getting onto the beach. And not only were we getting stung, but before we got stung, I see a shark in the water. Now, everybody thinks, okay, cool, it's a great white. No, obviously not. It was super small shark. Like baby shark. I think it was a black tip, but it was still kind of crazy to see because I'd never seen a shark that close in the water before. But yeah, we were all getting stung. I think they were called sea nettles. Feel free to look up that word. They look horrendous, but they're not that big. they just suck because they sting. So it doesn't feel great, and that was not the highlight of my vacation. But I still enjoyed the beach as much as I could. Sadly, we were not able to stay in the salt water for long. But that was my headline of the week.
Well, there you go. That was very nice.
No, it
Mine,
wasn't.
yeah, I'm sorry. Well, Trey wasn't here, but I got, as you know, who watched the show last week, you know that I got home loaned by my own kid and have 3 puncture wounds in my foot and lots of stitches. And so the problem
You should
here
have
is
posted that, honestly.
the pictures.
What?
I should have posted the pictures.
Maybe. I don't know if that's
Nobody wants to see my rotten feet. Anyway, so
blood was everywhere.
So it was insane. So yeah, to the point that I think I said this already, but my son comes in the room and he's like, "Hey, Dad, can we have dinner?" And I'm like, "Sorry, bud, we're not gonna have dinner like normal today." But because you can go outside and look, and he looks outside and he's like, "Daddy, it looks like somebody died out here. Where's the yellow tape?" Because there's just blood everywhere in the front room, and it was not good. And so, but anyways, so now I'm letting my foot heal, and so for the first few days, I can't see my foot, so my wife's taking pictures. Well, she's not putting a flash; she's just like taking pictures of my foot, and so all I'm seeing is these black holes in my feet, and I'm like, oh great, now my foot's gonna die, and I already have like low circulation in my feet, so I'm like, great, they're gonna have to cut my foot off. I'm totally freaking out. But then I go, hey, honey, could you take a flash of the picture? Flash. The next day, I'm like, could you just make sure that there's a good flash on it? And then look, and it's just the skin that got covered in blood that's there. It's not my foot that's turning black. It's just the scabs. And I'm like, oh, I was so freaking. I was worried I have to go to the emergency room and get my foot chopped off. And it was like, oh no, it's fine. So luckily, I'm not losing my foot today. It might be tomorrow, but yeah, it totally was a stressful situation, and I'm still hopping along to the point that even when we went to Walmart yesterday, I got to ride one of those. I got to drive the little handicapped cart, so I'm like just cruising around. It was pretty fun. So, but it was slow, and my kid kept on jumping on.
I was trying to look for like a little squeaky horn thing, because that's what I'd picture you in. It's like a little buggy with like a horn. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, just
But I don't have that.
It's okay. I'm not mad at you.
I'm glad you're okay. I mean, I'm glad things are going better. I didn't know if you're.
Is it okay, or is it not okay? I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. Oh no, I don't know how to turn it off.
Yeah, you go to stop sounds, top left-hand corner.
You need the Jaws theme to say you got bit by a
Right.
shark.
I don't know how to turn it off.
Jason, top left-hand corner, stop. Or if it's a voice thing, you go all the way to the top and you click clear voices or clean or whatever. Or I
I'm
can
sorry,
mute you until
I
you
am
figure it
trying.
out. Cool, I'm muting him. Awesome. So Sarah, since we heard that he destroyed his foot, I want to hear your headline of the week.
I went to North Dakota, just came back from North Dakota. My friend and I went to the North Dakota State Fair, which was
Okay.
second time actually out to North Dakota. This East Coast New York City girl drove an F-150.
Oh wow, okay.
I usually drive an electric scooter, so this was definitely an improvement. And we flew into Minneapolis and got to the rental car station, and I picked the mystery vehicle, and I was hoping it was a Porsche, and they were like, how about an F-150? I'm like, can I even get into it? I'm 5 feet tall. So
Wow.
I drove that thing 8 hours into North Dakota, and got to the state fair, and we were there to support my friend Jason Merced, who is from MHA Nation out in Newtown, North Dakota, and he put on the Indian horse relay, which was an awesome experience. And we were on the bandstand in front of 18,000 people watching the live action. And what
Wow.
the Indian horse relay is it's a Plains Indian tradition where they have teams from around the area compete with their horses. And in this case, they rode some quarter horses, not the thoroughbreds, but they have a jockey and two handlers that comprise the team. and the jockey is the baton in the relay race of horses. So
Oh
the
wow.
jockey is riding bareback. There's the teams are on the line, and they hear the buzzer, and they jump on the horse, and they race it around the track, and then they run that horse to the edge where the team's waiting. He jumps off the horse. He gets on another horse bareback and continues onward.
Oh.
And clearly these horses don't like to cooperate. So one horse is bucking, the other horse is running the other direction. Some are getting disqualified. But it was very intense. And we got a front row seat, actually a front dirt seat because it's a dirt track. And it was quite an experience. So we were there to support, to chronicle the experience, MHA Nation Indian Horse Relay. And they're going to bring it to the Native American Newtown area and start something, more broad that they could do annually rather than it being at the state fair. They're going to bring it home to Newtown. So it's a cool thing. I highly recommend people checking out an Indian Horse Relay if they ever come across one.
That sounds super sick. That's awesome. I'm assuming that was an awesome experience.
It was fantastic. It was really cool. I had some horsepower to bring it to the horses.
Oh, here we go. I got you.
Are you a truck lady now? Are you like, where's my truck now?
Well,
you're like, how do I live my life without a truck?
So I drove my friend. She came in from California, and we're driving from Fargo. We stayed over in Fargo and made our way over to up to Minot, and I stopped for gas. And I drove over the curb because I couldn't even see where I was.
Oh, no.
And she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know.
The truck can take it. It's fine. No worries.
Yeah, I managed by the end.
Yeah. Were you appalled by that gas bill?
Yeah, pretty much.
You were like, $300?
Yeah, exactly. I was pumping gas in Rugby, North Dakota, which is we stopped there because it's the geographical center of North America, of North and Mexico, Canada, and the United States. So right in Rugby, North Dakota is the center. And across the street was a gas station, and they're playing the song Billy, I Want to Be a Billionaire by Bruno Mars. And as I'm pumping gas, I'm like, this is crazy. You need to be a billionaire to drive this
truck. They should just have that on repeat because it's like, yeah, we're going to pull up at the gas station and regret how much money we don't have right now.
Yeah.
No, my parents are thinking about trading in their truck because it's just a gas guzzler. And quite frankly, they have a pull-behind camper. But they don't want it anymore, and so then there's no point in having the truck. So they're thinking about just getting a van again, which they literally had one before they got the truck, but whatever. So constantly trading and swapping.
Yeah, that's fancy. I had to buy a new car this week too, by the way.
Yay! Phenomenal. Wait a minute. You still have the old one?
No, so remember I got the car. No. So remember 3 weeks ago, before my Home Alone, I also got in a head-on collision where I totaled our car. And so
he's winning right now.
I've had a long month. The month of July has not been. It's been cool. I bought a house, but then everything else is just gone. And which I think is what happens when you buy a house. So anyways, but yeah, so we got a full settlement from the thing. So, but the sorry part is we have to it's not much money. So it's like, we got to go buy another hoopty to get to buying another car. But we literally just bought a house. So we can't just go, get a $300 payment car. That'd be crazy. So. Yeah, not a thing. So
time to get a horse.
Yeah,
there you go.
How do I tell my wife?
Texas, right?
Well, how do I tell my wife she has to get an electric scooter? That she has to take that to work.
I could give her some tips.
Yeah, it's a little different here than New York. I imagine your travel time isn't very long, so it's fine. So, it takes about 20 minutes to get to work for her. So, in an electric scooter, it'd be a little slower.
Yeah, and plus you don't probably have many bike lanes like New York does. So
yeah, and it's also 105 degrees right now. So imagine that would not be awesome. So
yeah.
There you go. Well, cool. That is very good headlines of the week. Is it time for that thing that you enjoy, Trey?
Jason, I want to talk to Sarah, but you are right. First, it is time for a quiz. Sarah, I hope you're ready. Jason, I hope you're ready. Maybe. I don't know, Jason. I don't know how much you enjoy the outdoors, but we're about to find out because this quiz is all about the the great outdoors. That's right, folks. This quiz is about camping. Sarah, I know this is your first time on the show, but you are going right up against Jason in an outdoor quiz. And what's really cool is all of them are multiple choice, so you can't possibly get it wrong, right?
Correct.
Right. So, no, you get a percentage of getting it right or wrong. Let's see how everybody does. Whoever has the most answered correctly questions, I said that wrong. Whoever has the most points at the end of this quiz gets a nice little NFT that I will show you at the very end. And you guys will both get equal and ample opportunity to answer any and all questions that I throw at you. But let's start first with Sarah, since she is our guest today. Jason, are you ready?
Yes.
Is your brain ready, is what I should have said.
I was reading our comments and I realized what it was. So.
Yeah, let's move on from that comment. So, question number 1.
At first I was like, oh, no, that's not what that was.
Let the camping begin.
Okay.
Question number 1, Sarah. Which of the following terms refers to camping in a motorhome, van, or RV without sewer, water, or electrical connections? Is it A, dry camping, B, austere camping, or C, desert camping?
A.
Dry camping? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Jason, same question.
I'm
Dry
gonna
camping.
I'm going to go with A because it's the one that sounds real.
Congratulations, you both got it correct. Yes. It is dry camping. This is what is referred to as dry camping when you have literally nothing connected to all of your things. So let's see. Cool. On to question number 2. Jason, you get the first crack at it. Crack at it.
Not crack addict?
Yeah. The word, I was going to leave it alone.
Yeah, no, but I realized it too. I'm like, oh, that's what he said.
The word glamping is a blend of which word and camping? Is it A, glass, B, glamorous, or C, glacier?
Well, dude, I'll tell you right now, in this weather, I wish it was glacier. I'd go outside and just be
global warming is a thing,
ice
folks.
Glaciers. But anyways, it's glamour. Trey, don't you try to trick me into saying the wrong answer? It's B.
Oh, you said it was glamour though?
Yes.
Okay, cool. He said glamour. So Sarah, A, glass, B, glamorous, or C, glacier?
Oh, you're a jerk!
Be glamorous.
Phenomenal. That's the correct answer. Jason, you were right there. Like, I don't know why you answered glamour because that wasn't an answer.
I said B.
I actually don't remember you saying that. I remember you saying glamour. So congratulations, Sarah. You're 1 point ahead of Jason currently. On to the next question. Sarah, which of the following is the best thing that you should do with camping trash? Is it A, bury it at least 20 centimeters deep, B, pack it out, or C, burn it?
B, pack it out because you don't want the bears.
Okay, cool. And so let's see. I'm going to ask the question later. Jason, should you bury it, should you pack it out, or should you burn it?
Bury it.
Hey, Google, stop.
Bury it.
Bury it.
Yeah.
Well, that is incorrect. It is pack it out. Sarah, so why do they pack it out? What are they talking about? As in, like, hiding it, putting it away? What are they talking about?
Don't leave no trace behind. Even toilet paper, they say you should take your toilet paper and take it with you too.
That is the dirtiest thing ever.
That's kind of gross.
There was a movie where they were being tracked by a bear, and they were telling the guys to bury. I think it was like he got a cut on his arm where there was dead fish or something, and he was saying to like either bury the cloth or bury the fish. Dude hangs it up in a tree. So it doesn't end well. But that is the worst possible thing you could possibly do because they have a really good sense of smell. Awesome. On to the second to last question. Jason,
yes.
What is the best way to get rid of human waste while camping in nature? Is it A, dump into a lake or river, B, hide under grass, or C, buried in a cat hole?
This is a very poopy quiz you got here, buddy.
Hey. I said trash at first. Now this is human waste.
Oh, I heard poop the first time. Oh.
Trash.
Oh, my brain.
Come on, buddy.
The first one? A?
Dumping it in okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's a
Sure.
terrible. Yeah.
Sarah, same question. Dumping it in a lake or river, hiding it, or burying it in a cat hole.
Bury it. That's why we have outhouses, right? Cover it up.
There you go. We bury our waste when we go camping, Jason. Gosh, come on,
See,
man.
the problem here is that's what I answered the first question was that you bury it, and I thought you were talking about human waste, and you weren't. And so then I was confused. While this one was that question, and I was like, obviously it can't be the same answer. But then I realized I got the one wrong before. So, okay, whatever.
That's tough, bud. I'm sorry.
Your face is tough.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm maybe for you, but not for my girlfriend. Anyway, moving right along. This is the last question. This is for the Mansion of the Yacht. It's anybody's game at this point, but you have to get it right. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Phenomenal.
What are you gonna do when I get it right, Trey?
This is the last question of the night. What is my favorite? No, I'm just playing. In which of the following European countries is wild camping allowed? Is it A, Italy, B, Germany, or C, Switzerland? Sarah, you can go first.
Okay. Well, they're all Alps country. I don't know. I guess the Swiss. I would say Switzerland. They're pretty independent thinkers.
Okay.
See.
Okay.
Can you give me the definition of wild camping? Does this have to do with werewolves?
Yes.
Then it's Germany.
Ooh.
Are you sure,
Yes.
Jason? You sure about that?
100%. Yes.
Sarah, is that your final answer?
I mean, Germany sounds just as good to me. Can I give a split 50-50 on the border?
What? You can, because that's the correct answer. And since we're going for who has the most points at the end of the quiz, you win, Sarah. Congratulations.
Yay, thank you. So it's Switzerland. It's Switzerland?
It was Germany.
Oh, it's Germany.
So
okay.
it was Germany. So they allow wild camping. Italy and the Swiss do not.
Oh.
What is wild camping?
Okay, look, man, you're giving me a hard time here.
You should have. No, you're going to destroy me in the quiz and make me look like the fool on international TV. And then two people are watching. It's three now.
Wild camping is camping outside of campsites, such as often when wilderness backpacking, but also as an option when driving through sparsely populated areas, going down a river, sea kayaking, or cruising on small craft too small to provide berths. So there is that. That's pretty cool. I love watching all the guys that go out in the outback, or like they go on remote islands and they stay there for a couple days, catch and cook, the whole 9 yards. I love watching people do that. I would die. So anyway, I love watching people do that. But congratulations, Sarah. You win this also beautiful, nice Jaime NFT. Congratulations.
I like
it's
it.
from Jaime. That's your little applause for the day.
Thank you.
It's
Good
not
game,
worth
Jason.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone say good game, Jason. Because they were like, yes, I destroyed Jason.
Ouch. That's because
I
you make
won.
them destroy me.
Sarah is a good sport. So give it up for Sarah. She's a good sport.
Yay.
So anyway, that isn't worth anything right now, but that's okay. It might be worth something someday. But really, I want to talk to Sarah. So why is she on the show today, Jason?
Well, when I asked Sarah to be on the show, which felt like 6 years ago, she said, make more in-person meaningful connections with one another. Why do we need to do that for a better year, Sarah? And why are you so blurry all of a sudden?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out too. I don't know what's happening with my camera.
She's trying to
Probably just
She's trying to
focusing.
camouflage into the
Is
thing.
that
There you go.
better? Yeah.
There
Yep,
it is.
way better.
Okay. It's probably this thunderstorm happening behind me.
That's fair. So, what can we do? So, why is it that we need to make more in-person meaningful connections with one another for a better year, Sarah?
Well, I mean, I think it's important to come together. I think travel, being in person, communicating, is helping to get out of this mess that we've been in for the past 3 years. I've been living in New York City for about 20 years now. And, when you are inside all day long, especially when coronavirus was happening and you couldn't really leave, we definitely had the brunt of it in Midtown Manhattan. You start to realize how important it is to interact with people. and how important getting out to nature is. Being with the trees and kind of feeling free and fresh air and all these great things. So in doing so, you start kind of making those connections again. And I really think it's important that, I think travel brings that out. Getting around the world, talking to people from around the world, getting a sense of how people live is always a blessing. It's a beautiful experience of life. So I think that's the answer to bring us back together. It seems like we're very polarized these days.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. And again, the stuff you get to do looks pretty awesome. But I think it's interesting because now for me, I've gotten stuck to see this guy every week. So for the whole time, so you say your 3 years has been terrible. Imagine having to see him every week. I'm just playing. He's amazing. I missed him very much last week. He's one of my best friends and a fun guy. He is a mushroom man. He's from Super Mario Brothers. No, that's not.
We're gonna move on.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
I like mushrooms.
Yeah. But no, I agree with you all the way, and I think it's interesting trying to it's like a good example is I'm a stay-at-home dad, and I used to go we wouldn't be at the house more than twice a week. We'd be out doing things all the time. But then COVID happened, and now it's trying to force myself to get out for once a week. And it's you gotta go do stuff. There's so many fun things to do. And it's oh no, you just gotta reignite that idea that, hey, there's other stuff happening other than just you in your room. And I agree that could make for a better year, is to actually get out and do something.
Yeah, and it's good for the country, I think, because like I said, I just went to North Dakota. It's my second time there, and you just get to see how the rest of the world lives, and vice versa. I've always said if I was dictator of the world, if that's ever possible, I would, just like jury duty, I would say everyone needs to live in New York City for 2 weeks, and everyone needs to live in a rural area in New York and the United States for 2 weeks, and then really get a sense of how people live. And I think that helps someone kind of form some really good personal conclusions rather than getting it from the TV shows and news and whatnot. You get to see that people are cool and they're respectable and they like to live good lives, from all walks of life. So yeah, it's important to get out there.
That's awesome. Yeah, the closest I ever got to New York is Hartford, Connecticut. We drove past New York. We were on a tour, and our main sit-down point was Hartford for 2 weeks, but then we drove back past it, and I waved at New York, but we did not stay there.
This is Connecticut now.
Yeah, that's amazing. Hartford was cool. And we actually had the Hartford Symphony actually paid us to come down, and we were a group of cello, like a string quartet that was doing hip hop things.
Oh, that's so cool!
And so I was their opener. I was not the one that they thought was cool. Oh, look, our good buddy from Boss Visual Media's showing up. It's his birthday.
It's doing the weird thing with the borders for some reason.
Oh, I'll fix it.
Happy birthday, El Rico.
Yes.
He said, so proud of y'all. I wanted to New York. I'm assuming he said I wanted to go to New York, or I want to go to New York. I guess where are you from originally, Sarah?
Oxford, Connecticut. I'm here now in Oxford, Connecticut. So
how close? And I'm terrible with U.S. geography. How close is that to North and South Dakota?
Oh, very far. I would say about 1,000 miles, maybe 2,000 miles. I had to fly to Minneapolis.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, and then drive 8 hours.
Is it just the northern accent then? You say Dakota, so it's just right on. Exactly, it's right on the money. And they speak a lot like the upstate New York people too, and near Canada. North Dakota.
It's kind of that northern. Ooh. I love it.
So how do you say sorry?
In New York, Brooklyn, kind of.
How does Sarah say sorry?
Sorry.
Really?
Sorry.
Do you ever say sorry?
Sorry, I don't know. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I'm just asking. I'm just curious. I love accents, so I'm just asking.
I'm not very good at accents.
How do you say breakfast?
Breakfast. Bagels.
Bagels? Yeah, mine's breakfast tacos every day.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Nice.
Jason literally omits the K He just says breakfast.
Yeah, it's
So-
the other way I know how to say it. Breakfast.
Toothpaste.
Breakfast.
Anyway, no. So that's cool, Sarah. So, what about the outdoors do you love the most?
Great questions. I like scuba diving, so I love the ocean. So that counts as the
Oh, wow,
outdoors.
okay.
Yeah, I
Sure.
like being underwater. I like just feeling like weightless, and it's just a really cool experience being underwater. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I love that
amazing.
response. I don't think of like the ocean when like people are talking about the outdoors. I think of camping, like the wilderness, but I mean that counts because it's outdoors.
Yeah, and the
that's super cool.
jellyfish and the sharks.
Hey,
Watch
man.
that.
They're real. They're very real.
And
Go
they're
ahead, Jason.
spectacular.
Oh no.
Well, some can't sting you, right? There's a species out there that you can swim with, but I was
Yeah,
not
watch
with
out
that
for the
species.
box jellyfish or the blue jelly. There's a jellyfish
Man of
in
war?
Australia. No, it's very, very tiny in Australia.
Oh,
That
the
will
box
kill you.
jellyfish, yeah, they'll kill you.
Yeah, you got to wear a skin when you get in the water. Yeah.
Nice.
Forget
Those
that.
are the
That's
worst.
terrifying. I might
Yeah.
get in the
So-
water in Australia.
So thinking about what you do, Sarah, and one more quick focus on not it was when I think about what you do, I fell in love with this new show. It's called Never Say Never with Jeff Jenkins. And have you heard of this, Sarah?
No.
And so he's a guy out of Austin, but he's like a plus size dude. So he's like a 300 to 400 pound dude, and then he goes on to these nature things. So he's like riding a horse, and he's like
Is that on
rappelling.
Nat Geo?
It's on it's on a Geo, and it's
Oh,
awesome.
gosh, yeah,
but
yeah,
as a
I've
guy that weighs 375 pounds, I'm watching him do these things, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Or he goes caving. I'm like, so many fears in my life happened in this show, and I was just like, I bet that's so much fun, but I bet it's so scary. Like the only episode that like was like, okay, he actually did sumo wrestling, which he looked bigger than the sumo wrestler, but he was awesome, and but it's so cool to see somebody go out and do that. But he always says, he goes, you don't see many people like me traveling doing these nature things, which are these bigger people, and like all the ones that he gets freaked out now when they're like, when he's on a netting that's 10,000 feet in the air, and he's like, this isn't graded for my weight, and they're like, you just got to try, and
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you have a whole safety team, you should be fine, but I know it's scary. But anyways, how did you get into all this? How did traveling become your job?
Thank you. Yeah, I love it. It's just I love seeing the world, and how did it become my job? It's just something that was an extension of just living life. I worked pretty crazy hours in New York City on Wall Street, and pretty burnt out. It was a tough existence in a lot of ways, a lot of pressure, and a lot of just commitment to the lifestyle, the job, and putting your head down.
Jason, I'll be right back.
Okay.
100-hour work weeks and so on and so forth. So a lot of kind of my interest to kind of break away from that kind of life just for a moment is to kind of get on a plane and don't come find me for a week. So that my first interest was scuba diving, and I saw something on CNN a long time ago where you can go scuba diving with whale sharks in the Georgia Aquarium.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's really great. And then my friend said, why don't you get scuba certified, and you could, actually go diving and give it a shot. So one thing led to another, and, I started scuba diving with whale sharks in the aquarium. And then that led to me, kind of exploring the underwater ocean around the world. And that's gotten me to see some really cool places. So for me, it was like my release from, just a kind of the grind, if you will. And
Sure.
it just allowed for me to, continue to see the world. And I collected a lot of people along the way. So the more we went on adventures, the more we thought of more adventures. So it's been a fun ride so far, and I hope to do more.
That's amazing. Yeah. One of the episodes is he actually gets to swim with whale sharks.
That's amazing.
Like in the like I think in Mexico. And they're actually taking pictures of their footprint or of their tail fins. And so yeah. Anyways,
I love this guy. I'm glad you told me about him. What's his name again?
It's Jeff Jenkins, but the show is called Never Say Never with Jeff Jenkins. But he was a famous travel blogger before
great.
he got the show. But he seems like the nicest guy. And but one of my friends knows him, And so I was like, oh, I should check out the show. And then I was like, I didn't really understand that it was going to like totally make me feel good about wanting to do nature traveling, because it definitely can be a fear when you're bigger. Like, can I even, are these things even made? Like, he was one of the ones where he's rock climbing, and I'm like, oh wow, no, he has the muscles to do it, but it's like, you can think, oh well, just because I'm overweight doesn't mean that I can't do these amazing things.
It's a
And
great
so,
attitude. Yeah, it's a great attitude. I love how he's demonstrating, you know, don't have limiting beliefs. You know, if you want to try to accomplish something, anything's possible. I know people think like cost can be a big limiting factor, but if you can figure out how to do it right, like for me, like when I get on a plane, I use airline points. And going overseas is actually a lot more affordable than, let's say, going to Vegas, right? The
sure,
amount you have to spend on a hotel and like the resort fees and things of that nature. Renting a car, renting a car in the United States is very expensive.
it is.
So if you like figure out how to like maybe get some airline points, get you to a country, have a local tour guide give you a tour, you can really explore the world, on the cheap.
That's
So
amazing.
yeah, it is. As long as you just realize that it's not as scary as you think, and you want to get some courage, and you can do it.
And like, so far, out of all the places have you gone, what is easily one of your favorite places?
Oh man, one of my favorite places is Oman, actually.
Okay.
Where's
Yeah,
that?
Oman is on the I think it's the Arabian Peninsula. It's south of Saudi Arabia, so it's part of the Arabian desert. Yeah, and it's next to
Super
Yemen.
cool.
Yeah, and I went. There was an opportunity to scuba diving, so again, paid on points, went on airline points. Arranged a local tour through a connection I had, and that was just phenomenal. It was cost effective. We went with my brother and his girlfriend, and it felt like the movie Aladdin. The cartoon movie from the '90s. He's on a
Sure.
carpet ride and he's hanging out with Jasmine and Jafar and all that. It really felt like Aladdin personified. It was like stuck in time. It had those like kind of curved like
Wow.
tops, and like there's a sultan, and it was pretty incredible. And like it all kind of stems from there. The flying carpet is from Milan, so it was really rad. It was really really rad. And one thing I really liked, we got to go to Salalah, which is a local favorite of people who live in the Middle East, and it's right on the ocean. And during the spring, it rains a lot. There's a rainy season, so everything becomes green and lush. Like behind me, if it's a desert, and then it starts to look like this, and there's like watering holes and all that, and it's right on the edge of the ocean. And we had a tour guide, Ahmed, and he was the coolest person. He took us to the local markets, and he showed us frankincense. The three wise men. They took their camels actually from Yemen and Oman, and they did their little, caravan up through Jordan, the Rose City and Petra, to get up to Bethlehem. And so they were bringing frankincense, which is a sap from the tree that grows there. And we got to taste some. And then on the way back to the hotel, he was driving us through a desert, and it was 360 degrees of just like sand and the horizon. And he warned us about sandstorms. And we're like, well, I asked Ahmed, I'm like, how do you navigate through that? And he goes, well, my grandfather used to be a nomad traveling with the camels. And I'm like, well, how did he know where he was going? Back then there was no compass, there was no iPhone, there was nothing, right? And he goes, the minute you doubt yourself, you're lost.
Ooh,
Wow.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
life.
So that was a pretty rad experience.
That's amazing.
And, yeah. So this just goes to show, like, I was in the Middle East, hanging out, and I learned some cool things, and then, I came home.
That's amazing.
That's
I think
super cool.
Thank you.
You have any fun travel questions, Trey?
Yeah, no, I mean, what did the frankincense taste like?
It tastes like tree sap. And if you bite it, they're very little bits. They look like tiny little pebbles of like dirty white pebbles.
Okay.
And you bite it and it gets stuck in. So if you have like a filling, I would warn against it. It's like chewing on Laffy Taffy, but even more stickier. Yeah, it smells beautiful, but when you eat it, you're like, yeah, I'm eating sap, tree sap.
What's I guess my next question would be what's the takeaway? I mean, honestly, from visiting all these places that are obviously, non-Americanized. What is your takeaway from kind of like your favorite spots that maybe Westerners could learn?
Yeah, so I, again, on CNN, I got a lot of inspiration way back when from reading some travel, bits on CNN way back when. And one thing I read, and it sticks with me, is they like profiled this like retired couple from America who like had this adventure around the world. And they said the one thing that they realized is 95% of the people in the world are good people. And that always stuck with me. And as I have seen the world, I've been to over 40 countries and, done some pretty, far remote things and gone, pretty far away places. And you come to find that people are very hospitable, they're welcoming, they're kind. They're some are reserved, some are shy, some are standoffish. But the minute you get to have that human connection, like we first started talking about at the show, like bring people together. The minute like you start, kind of, hey, what's going on? How are you? Interactive and pleasant and polite. Like you start to see that people are really cool. They're really nice. They're hardworking. They want good things for their family. They want their environment to be, preserved, and they're happy to show their home. Like, look, this is where I live. And, wow, you're from New York. That's cool. So that's pretty much it. More or less. Like, thankfully, I have not really been in dangerous situations. It's been okay. Yeah, it's been an experience so far, and I hope to do more.
That's amazing.
Awesome.
Do you now you also have put groups together, right, to go do all these things? What's the biggest group you ever went on a trip with before?
One of my trips that I planned there was about 8 of us, and we went to Myanmar in Thailand, which was pretty rad. It's also known as Burma, formerly known as Burma, and we got to go. Right now, the country I think is in. It's a little bit in disarray. There's been another military coup, and they've kind of shut their borders down again, as the last I've checked. And there's been a lot of political unrest for about 50 plus years. But we had the opportunity to go when things were kind of calming down, and it was like a country kind of stuck in time. It was pretty incredible. And there's one of my favorite places is this place called Bagan, and there's all these pagodas that were built in like 1,000 years ago out of like bricks. And they have, you could Google this, it's called Balloons over Bagan, and you could take higher balloons and kind of fly over them as the sun's rising. And it was pretty rad. And then we got to rent these like little electric kind of mopeds and then, drive around these pagodas and then go inside. Nobody cared. You just kind of walked in and you're like, okay, I'm in a pagoda. So yeah, it was pretty awesome. And then we went to Inlay Lake, which is where the stilts on the lake, there's these little huts that are stilted into the lake, and they paddle you through to go. And here we are like on someone's paddle, canoe, and they're filming some like amazing race kind of show right in front of us, and we're like, all right, debunked. It's not this. We can see the production crew, we can see them, all right, take 2. You're like, all right, well, I see what's going on behind the scenes.
Oh wow.
That was adventurous.
That's so funny. That's amazing, and it's so cool. Like I imagine when you first started, this was just kind of you by yourself, or you with one other person. Were you going by yourself, or did you always have somebody with you when you started?
I try to go with people. Like I mentioned, my brother and his girlfriend. I have friends, around the world. I have a really good friend in Australia who tends to be just as adventurous. So, we try to see what we can do. Sometimes I've gone by myself. A lot of the solo trips I've done have been in the United States,
Sure.
And that's where I rent a car and I just drive.
Nice.
Someone who drives an electric scooter normally is like, okay, let's figure out how this car works. And it was so funny because I was in the car with a friend when we first went to the Dakotas about 2 years ago, and I rented a car, and I whipped out an old Garmin, and she's like, we have CarPlay. I'm like, what's that? I seriously didn't know what CarPlay was. And she's like, you could hook your phone to the car instead of like taking a Garmin. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that.
I don't even know where my Garmin's at, but that's amazing.
I said, it's an old school Garmin. And she's like, and I had print out maps from like Google Maps.
Stop.
She's like, yeah, swear to God. She's
That's
like, what
beautiful.
are you doing? And I'm like, I don't know. Looking to put the GPS in. She's like,
Yeah,
you
like, I don't have a car, dude. Leave me alone.
I know.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry. I'm from New York.
I think
know.
what I appreciate so far from what you've been sharing, Sarah, is just the cool parts of culture shock in a nutshell. Because when you went over to Thailand, you were like, and then when you went over to I guess oh my gosh, where did you go? It's close to Yemen.
Oman.
Oman. So
No.
you went there, and both of those times you said it was a place stuck in time, and just, I mean, all these different cultures, like that you've got to experience the different foods and delicacies and just people. Would you do you feel like people are happier wherever you go?
That's a really good question. I'm glad you asked that because I've had this conversation a lot, I feel like. And being from New York, more money, more problems, right? Like I was just down this weekend down by the Brooklyn Bridge in South Street Seaport, and they were doing a drone show, and it was the 50th anniversary of hip hop. So, obviously Big E's from Brooklyn. Yeah, it was really cool. And we were watching, we just happened to stumble across it. So, yeah, I mean, I'm quoting Biggie, right? More money, more problems. Or is it Jay-Z? I forget. But both from New York, right? Representing Brooklyn. You guys are the rappers, not me. But you know what I mean. Yeah, and that's why I find that this balanced existence I had for a bit, like working on Wall Street for so long, it's the center of the universe financially, and there's a lot that comes with it, right? That's driving people to work hard and play hard, if you will. And I think with that comes a lot of burnout. It comes a lot of backstabbing. It becomes a lot of ego-driven, decisions. And I didn't like that existence because I got to see more beyond the veil. And, I really think that if you have a good, just solid existence, in a humble, kind of place, and you have food and a roof over your head, and you have, good experiences, I think, you can live humbly. You don't need it all. You don't need, the almighty dollar to feel like you have a good existence.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting how it works. It's always funny to me. Was that one of the things I've been watching lately was tiny houses, and I always laugh when it's like, oh yeah, but that's just living in New York. It's not everybody else is everybody else is I'm living in a tiny house. I got 200 square feet, and the dude in New York's I have less than that, dude.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's right.
But it's so funny the perspective of. Some people, it's some people think that you need all those things, and it's I grew up in a trailer park. I grew up with happy people, happy parents, and happy situations. I also grew up with a deer being slaughtered in my front yard. That was always a weird conversation starter with somebody. What's happening? It was my dad. I don't.
Well, at least you know what to do. I mean, we were talking before about travel shows and whatnot and camping, and I was thinking about one of my favorite shows called Alone. I'm sure you guys have seen that, right? On Netflix or whatever, A&E, wherever it's being broadcast.
Wherever it is, yeah.
Wherever it is, wherever. Yeah, and I find those people so admirable. And I think, the more and more we kind of think about life the way it is right now, and do we want to make some meaningful changes? And does that mean going off the grid? Does that mean what am I going to do? I need to learn how to grow food, how do I hunt, right? And
I appreciate that you believe in me that much, but I was too busy playing Super Nintendo to care about any of this.
I mean, I'd be grossed out, but that poor deer. I'm very merciful, man. The poor deer, sipping on the.
Yeah, no, I was the same way. I'm this blood is. I like deer sausage, but I never learned what he actually was doing. Or I think he took me once deer hunting. But not my thing. I'm not as you. I'm not the biggest outdoor person. But it was interesting growing up in that. But I honestly didn't learn much. But you're right. It is cool to, especially now with how society is and how things are. It is nice to know if you could go off the grid that you know how to do it. Now I do know how to cook things in situations, so I do feel secure in that. But I don't know how to skin a deer.
Okay. Well, maybe one day you'll learn.
Maybe.
I don't plan on learning at all, so I don't want to do that. But yeah, no, venison's amazing, but I don't plan on dressing a deer at all. So
yeah, ever.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't pull the trigger. But again, watching Alone, you start to see these people going, all right, I'm hungry. Let's break some necks of rabbits. Or all right, I guess I'd be that way too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where we came from. At least we had to hunt and gather.
Well, now it's that time where you get to actually do a little plug. Tell us more about what you do. I haven't even mentioned your business, and I apologize. Embolden Adventures, which you'll talk about right now, which is so cool. It makes me so happy that, what you do, and I'm glad we get to talk about it. So it is your time.
Thank you, Jason. I appreciate this. Thank you for the opportunity. So yeah, Embolden Adventures, be emboldened. It's my travel content site, showcasing people I meet from around the world and all my travels. And so I want to embolden people and get people interested in the idea of seeing the world and traveling, whether it's climbing a mountain or scuba diving underwater or everywhere else in between. And a lot too where I find interest is the megalithic and the mysterious. So like places like Easter Island and Stonehenge and Machu Picchu and whatnot. And I'm in the process of writing my first book, my first Embolden Adventures book. So it's based on my 5-week adventure from getting laid off in 2019 in the financial district and going on to Morocco and then onwards to the Amazon rainforest where I did 7 ayahuasca ceremonies with the Shipibo shamans, and then onwards to the ancient alien kind of places in mysterious Bolivia, and coming back to New York City with a changed mind, having done all these amazing psychedelics and seeing the world in a different light, and then New York City shutting down with coronavirus in 2020. So it was quite an experience that's really changed a lot of the way how I see the world, and I think this book might be very interesting. So I hope you could check it out. It's almost done. I'm about 3/4 of the way through, and you could check it out on emboldenadventures.com. EMBOLDEN Adventures with an S.com. Be emboldened.
Awesome.
Perfect.
That is amazing. And I'll tell you, you reminded me of my most dreamy thing in the world is to go to Easter Island. And I looked up the trip.
I want to.
Oh Lord, that trip is so expensive because you have to either go on a cruise ship to get to it, or you have to fly a plane to a plane to get to a boat to get to the thing. And man, I really want, like, for the same reason Trey would want to go, which is all the idea that that this was like the idea that Easter Island is one of the only places to actually I forget what it's called now, but where everything died. And so it's interesting how it works. And then, you know, also the Easter Island heads and all that stuff is cool. And I love all the history behind that. So it's always my dream. I mean, for a few years, me and my buddy was talking about taking our families on a cruise there. Or, you know, but it's a very long and expensive cruise to get there. So,
I will say, so that first of all, Easter Island is a cautionary tale to humanity because they think the people died because they cut the last tree down on that island. So that's a problem.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but they suspect for the Moai to move those, you know, statues, they use trees as logs, but that's a theory. But that's what they're suspecting. The last tree got cut down, and that, you know, helped to ruin their civilization. But I will say, Jason, I flew to Chile to Santiago from Houston. And that flight, you could probably get it on points. And then what we did was we did a layover. And then I recall the flight from Santiago to Rapa Nui, which is the real name of Easter Island, was like $500.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, don't discount it. You could pretend. And then we stayed at, you know, we got a taxi, which isn't far. And we like stayed in a cheap, you know, affordable hotel. And we got a tour guide and we got to see the island for 4 days. I have a piece on it on my Embolden Adventures page.
Awesome.
And I have the itinerary and all these suggestions. So I hope you could put that into manifestation, and I hope one day you could see the island. I'd like for you to do that.
Yeah, was it fun? Was it worth the trip?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100% was worth it. It was so interesting. I mean, I like that stuff, you know. Who carved the Moai? Is it aliens? What the hell is it? You know?
Yeah. What's something you could? I have to ask you then. What's something you could tell us that most people don't know about the island, or just anything about
so there's wild horses that run that island. Yeah, and there's a volcano. Wild horses.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so when you're going to see, there's few distinguished areas. Well, I shouldn't say distinguished, but when you see Easter Island, there's like very characteristic photos that you take. It's like, this is one area, this is another area. So when you're kind of touring a very kind of recognized area, you see these horses just running, and there's like horse skulls everywhere because they die and they drink in water and they get stuck in like the water hole and whatever. So yeah, there's a lot of horses, and there's also a volcanic crater. So you can, you know, go on the edge of the volcanic crater, which is really cool. And one more thing is we went to this ancient civilization kind of footprint where the people used to live, and they used to have this competition called the Birdman. And like every guy would compete, and they would have to run down the steep hill down to the ocean, swim a mile, go climb this rock and rob an egg from a nest, take the egg, put it in, swim back, run back up the hill. Whoever can get there fastest without breaking an egg becomes the Birdman for the year. It's like this big feat, feats of strength, if you like Seinfeld, and what is it? Festivus. It's a feats of strength in Easter Island.
Interesting.
So you're saying that Nacho Libre stole their bit from Easter Island?
I guess so.
Yeah. Where they go get there's a spot where they go get the eagle egg, and then they have to eat the eagle egg for power.
Oh, I see. Yep, that's
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
What if Nacho Libre is actually just based off Easter Island?
Maybe that's true. The other cool part is that that's the volcanic craters where all of the heads. It was made out of the heads are made out of volcanic rock,
That's right.
and so it's interesting.
That's
how they
wild. Didn't know that.
That's why they believe that the trees were cut down all the way. This is the only way to travel the volcanic rock to the different places. And then the crazy part is a lot of them are pushed over because there was a point where it was like tribal fighting where they would destroy each other's Easter Island heads, and so lots of them are actually buried and not even up because of those kind of things where they were knocking them down. But it's insane. Yeah, no, I've spent lots of time on Easter Island, on learning about Easter Island. So that's so cool. I'm glad I could ask you about that. Oh, sorry to tell you, Sarah, but we have to start the show over because Jaime himself from the thing says, can you restart the show now? So,
Because he just woke up, because he got scared and jumped, because the rabid dog in his dream was running to him in the car, jumped and flew to my window. Oh, flew to the window. I'm glad that you woke up, Jaime, and you didn't get eaten by a rabbit dog named Cujo.
Yes. And this is the Jaime from the NFT. So.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Same guy. He doesn't look like that, though. It's a little
You're drawing.
editing.
Yes. But anyways, now it's time for me, Trey, to do a rap. Oh.
I was just going to mess with you. It's time for rap!
All right, Sarah. Now
I was just gonna make you squirm, Jason.
I like the show without you on it. It was nicer. No, I'm just.
How dare you?
At least
Anyway,
I was gonna get mediocre producing if I was doing it. Anyways, hi Sarah. I'm gonna do a rap song now. What would you like the rap song to be? Would you like to add new things to it? Words I'm not using? Would you like it to be a story? Would you like me just to tell you about all the things we just talked about? What would you like your song to be about today?
About being emboldened and seeing the world.
All right, I can do that. And what's some words that you'd like me to add to this?
Travel, suitcase, scuba diving, French kissing a wolf. Maybe.
Oh,
if we talk about rabies again.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons why I pressed the button. That's hilarious. Trey, do you want to add something? It looked like you wanted to
Easter
add
Island heads.
Easter Island heads. Okay.
How about Oman?
Oman. I can do that. Oman.
Not Oman. Oman.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, man.
All right. And then, as always, if you're in the comments and you think of a word that you'd like me to use, just put it in the comments. Only one word. And then we'll actually post it on the thing and I'll maybe put it into the rap. I do not know how this is going to go, but I'm going to try my hardest. I'm sweaty and it's hot up in here, but I'm happy.
Sarah, do you have a stage name or a nickname that somebody has called you in the past, or can you go by anything that we don't know about?
Yeah, I'm known as Roxy.
Perfect. Phenomenal. Jason, you ready to go? Do you want something fast, slow, or in between?
Slow. Medium.
Okay, cool. Got it.
All right.
Yo, we got DJ Sound Effects, Roxy, and Scout the Psalmist on the mic. Let's get it.
Hey, you want to travel the world and run around, just hang out with your girl Sarah? She be chilling because she do what she do. Embolden Adventures, come on, be a bolden dude. I could only take it back and I be, I'm not gonna tell you the story about she. Well, this person, I don't know who it was. That was French kissing a wolf. I was feeling it cuz never knew what I was saying. If you're feeling the same, I got the question and it's all in my brain. And the rabies of Jaime's dreams attacking me. I didn't know what I could ever see be. I'm like the CB4T, like me. You want this all night with the night? Let me. Oh, it's like me just chilling on an island of Easter times, with the times ain't stopping them. I got these giant heads trying to knock me over. Did you understand what I'm saying? I'm like a 40 clover. Lucky, did you understand what I gotta do like a super little man? I'm chilling on and only if I be, cause I'm on a flying carpet and I'm looking crazy. Oh, what am I doing? I never go. We got Roxy. She's like, oh, I don't know. Oh, she was like in New York and no, but then she went on a trip for the world like, whoa. She was sitting there doing these tribal celebrations. I don't even know what that is if I'm waiting, and I'm pretending like it's all the same. In North Dakota, running people over in trucks, Maine. I don't even get it if I still can't say, oh, it was amazing if we could never feel the pain. Bright, shiny day, stuck in the rain. Then you're stuck in your house because COVID, Maine. That's whack, and I still can't react, but I know. So that's why we're traveling the world, let it go. Sometimes you wants to say that you know. If I never get it down, now I'm thinking, oh, out of this and out of my mind, pretending like everything is oh so fine. I define the rhymes, kicking on the trime, and if you never get it, you still can't make it. But now you're sitting scuba diving in the world, and Trey's getting hit by every bullitivist girl, every single jellyfish in the darn world. It's stinging him, and he's so bloated, it's like Earl. And if I never get it, I'm sitting, I'm looking for my people being specific and ripping them. Sometimes I can never try, and only if I get it, cause I'm wondering why. Hey, am I forgetting everything that I say? Sometimes I know what we could never say. Hey, but don't be afraid to go on a trip and go out of your ways and feel how you live. And you might see these people in humble livings, but you realize they're happy, and you gotta be conditioning yourself thinking that you need the money, but you don't need the money, honey. You live in your life, and dummy. Just be enjoyable what you have. Like me, I got kids that always want to hang out with their dad, and I appreciate that. And if I never go, but I still want to take them places and buy them all the stuff, yo. But it's okay, because it's the time, and I will just sit here as I just rhyme, and I define the rhyme, wondering why. I guess I'm done, and that's the flow like I.
Woo! Excellent! Thank you. That was fantastic. Really
We
impressive.
hope you enjoyed that, Sarah.
Oh, I did. This was a treat. This is a memory for sure. Thank you.
I was like, I hope that I got all the stuff in there. I'm like, is there anything? I was trying to think if we talked about food, because I really wanted to talk about food, but I don't think we talked about much food. We did
A little bit, itty bitty bit.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, there you go. Thank you so much, Sarah. We had such a fun time
Amazing.
talking to
Thank
you.
you.
And just talking about what you do, and the idea that you get to share people these amazing adventures is awesome, and that even people have a chance to like join you if they wanted to, which is crazy to think about that. It's so cool, and so I'm so happy for you. I hope that your book gets done and it goes amazing. And that's a very good plot line, all the stuff. So you definitely have to start it with you being stuck and scared in your house because of COVID. Like I feel like I can never succeed, and then it's like, oh wait, this happened 3 months ago.
Yeah,
That's so
it was
crazy.
definitely a trip for sure. It's like, what is going on?
It's so crazy to like that you traveled the entire world and then came back and got stuck in your house
Pretty
for
much.
a year. Yeah, and then
right.
the way that it was up there was just watching it, because I live in Texas, and so I could at least go out and do things. I just couldn't see, and it's easy not to bump into anybody. So, and that was the one thing about doing some traveling. It was like, oh man, if I was a movie producer that was doing like a zombie show, man, I'd be recording all that junk because nobody was there, because it was just insane to
Sure.
walk around Walmart's, HEBs without any people in them, because there'd be the line of like 10 people, or there'd be like hundreds of people, but they'd only let so many people one at a time. It's so weird.
Being in Times Square at that time when nobody was there was like, yeah, it was totally that Will Smith movie, I Am Legend, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's like, what is going on? And like no lights in the buildings. You're like, this is nuts.
Yeah. And you've lived it. You live there, so you know what it's supposed to look like. But yeah, no, I remember going through downtown Austin and being like, what is going on? And yeah, it's crazy. But anyways, thank you again so much for being on the show.
My pleasure.
For,
Thank you.
thanks to everybody listening to the show. I hope that you come back and listen to the show again. Remember, you can listen to us anywhere that podcasts are. Look at Flows, the number 4, the letter U, and you can go check us out. Or you can watch us live on Mondays at 5 p.m. CST on Twitch, on YouTube, and on Facebook. And if there's somewhere else you want to watch us live, then go watch us live there too. If you want us to come to your city and do the show live, me and Trey will do the show for 2 people. We don't care. We live that life. It might be a low budget show, and we might have to like use you as the lighting person. But in general, please invite us. We'll figure it out. And hey, as you saw, Boss Visual Media was on there. Ooh, that was a new one, Boss Visual Media Television. with their shows. That's cool. But they helped us out with the logos and stuff, so we really appreciate Boss Visual Media, especially when it's on the thing, so I remember what it says. If you're looking for a new website, make sure you go to nomadweb.design. Go get a website. They did ours at flowsforyou.com, and if you want to be on the show, please reach out to us. Trey?
Yeah, if you guys want to be on the show, please feel free to hit us up at flowsforyou.com. You can message us over there. You can also message us through Facebook. I'm Trey Stoneberg. He's Scout or Jason Riley. You can also just hit us up. I mean, you've got our contacts somewhere. You know a guy who knows a guy who knows a girl who knows a guy who knows a guy's cousin that knows somebody here on Flows For You.
We'll get you on the show.
We would love to have you guys. You said what, Jason?
And we'll get you on the show.
Yeah,
even
we'll
if you only talk about raisins or
peanut butter.
Yeah.
Or crazy facts about American history that no one really cares about. But that's okay, because we're going to be on the show and we're going to care about it. So anyway, that's pretty much it.
All right. Well, now it's time for our close. And Sarah, you get to be Trey's therapist. And you've learned a little about Trey. And so you get to ask him 3 questions about his life. And remember, you can make up any facts you want about his life. You could talk about how, how it feels to spend time with his idol every single week. I don't know how that feels, to feel somebody you've dreamed of being your whole life. I imagine that's amazing. And now he gets to hang out with me all the time. So that's great for him. So all right. So here we go. Welcome to Trey's therapy session with Sarah and DJ Sound Effects. Sarah, do you have any questions for him?
Yeah, I'm wondering, do you have any post-traumatic experiences from that jellyfish encounter? How are you feeling today about that?
Yeah, Sarah, I'm really appreciating the fact that you asked that question, because really, I had a nightmare. I had a nightmare last night, and I don't honestly get nightmares that often. But when I tell you that I was on this boat and the Kraken came out of the ocean and ate my entire family, and it left me alone somehow, it was not a good night. And my bed was soiled.
Oh,
but I know that this is just between you and me, because no one else is here, and this is not being broadcasted anywhere. So I'm glad that I can tell you this in confidence.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm trying to think how this is going to be helping you. Would you do it again if you had to replay it all over again?
Soil on my bed, or get stung by a jellyfish?
The jellyfish.
If I had to get stung by a jellyfish again in order to get jellyfish powers, sure. I mean, I don't know what that would be. I guess just stinging people I don't like. I don't know. Just being lazy.
Oh, this is a random person that just happens to show up in your therapy.
That?
Did you ever watch
the
original?
This guy? Hello?
Hello.
This is a session here.
I'm magical. Have you ever watched the original X-Men where they turned the president into like a jellyfish man?
Yeah, that was really weird.
Yeah, that's sorry.
I don't want those powers.
Yeah, that's not good. You got one more question, Sarah.
One more question.
It can be about anything. It's fine.
Anything. Okay. Well, where's your trip? Where are you going to next? Where are you going to pack your suitcases and go?
If I had a plan, which I don't.
Japan.
I would love to go to Japan. I would love to go to New Zealand. I would love to go to Australia, as long as I don't get bitten by something ginormous or venomous. And all of those places. And quite frankly, I just would love to get outside of the U.S. So really anywhere. I would love to visit the Philippines. And those are a lot of places because I don't have a favorite. I want to go adventure and see the world. So anywhere.
I hope you too. Come talk to me offline. I'll tell you all about Japan. I'll definitely put you in the right direction. And watch out for Godzilla.
Oh, I'm a huge kaiju fan, so I might just actually run to him.
Coming.
Trey will run into his arms. Hold me, Godzilla.
Embrace
I love
me.
you. I love you. And he eats him. I was like, finally, my dreams of a side of Godzilla. Gross.
All right.
I'm sorry about that.
We're going to run right past that. Sarah, thank you so much.
Thank you. You guys are fantastic. Jason, Trey, I appreciate the opportunity. This was quite a treat. You guys are really talented. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being on. We would love to have you on again if you are free and available
anytime.
down the road.
Hook me up, yeah.
But,
when your book comes out, maybe we can have you on.
Yeah, let's do that. I'd be happy to talk about the book. Yeah.
That'd be sick.
Give me maybe 9 months. I'm
Yeah,
almost done.
I'll remind me, or I'll remind you I'll send you
Okay.
a calendar. So
That sounds
we
great.
only go 2 months out, so that'll be
Okay.
a little. You have to wait. So, but yeah, do your thing, have fun. Thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you,
Thank
everybody
you.
else.
You guys are great. Thank you.
And so as we're closing out the show, Jason.
Flows. Wait, it's you first, right?
Ha! I'm glad you're paying attention. Flows for you. Flows for you.
This is what we do now. This is what we do.
All right. Love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys later.
Are you looking for a different kind of podcast? How about informative and clean? It will make you laugh. Scout and Trey, yeah, that's what we do. We got a little funny thing, keeping it true. Hey, we take your topics and all of your ideas and bring in a guest and we answer them there. Then we make a freestyle rap and do it for you. Yeah, that's what we do. Yeah, that's what we do. Yep, flows to you, flows to you. This is what we do now. This is what we do. Say it flows to you, flows to you. This is what we do now. This is what we do. Say it flows to you, flows to you.